Genesis chapter 48 conclusion. Life isn't fair. I have to say at the moment I feel it very strong that life isn't fair. Why? Because for 12 minutes I was recording, I was getting into this whole conclusion part, and I finished from the beginning to the end the whole conclusion part, and then it turned out that the camera, for an unforeseen reason, was totally out of focus, and I'm totally blurred. I can maybe cut in some of this later on for you, just to show you. Now sure, I didn't start the other video this way. I'm starting this because this is kind of a very important lesson we can take out of this chapter, that life is not fair. At least from our perspective, life isn't fair. Okay, like now at the moment, I'm like, why I wasted so much time now. There's so much I still need to do. I'm like totally overworked, and it's just so much to do always. I don't have the time to just waste like this, and it's just not fair. God, it's not fair. Why? Why did the camera had to be like this? And I'm sure in your lives as well, there's so many times where you're like, but life is not fair. Okay, God, I'm studying here in this university and I have a year left to finish, and then there's COVID and the university is closed and I can't finish my degree this year. So now next year I need to, when COVID is gone, I need to come back and finish it. And then there's a coup. Oh, no, I can't go to university because everyone is closed. And then, oh no, you can start going. But if you go back, then you need to fight against your own people. No, it's not going to work. It's unfair, God. And I mean, from our perspective, sure, it's not fair. None of this is fair. Why? Why, God? Right, like in this chapter, Ephraim, ought to be as the oldest ought to get. Manasseh as the oldest ought to get a blessing. Ephraim got it. It's not fair. Joseph clearly stated it. Then the people, the other tribes, are like, it's not fair. We all just got one piece of land as one of the sons of Jacob, Israel. Why did Joseph? 2 sons got each a piece. That's not fair. But in this chapter, clearly, God showed that none of them deserved any land. Who gave them the land that they conquered? They themselves? No, God gave them. When they trusted themselves, when we read through their conquering of the land, we're going to see that when they trusted themselves, they lost. When they trusted God, they won. Okay, so it's not because they deserved it that they got the land. It was the grace of God. It's God's doing. So they can't complain and say it's unfair. Unfairness is the fact that we sit here on a beach, a beautiful beach, with even equipment to be able to record this. There's no need for us to, it's now 4 o'clock, 4:30, in about 4 hours from now, to go and hide out in the night because it's dark and the electricity cuts and all of these things, right? There's no need for us, right? We have food, we're not hungry. That is actually unfair. What actually would be fair is to not have any of those things. That would be fair. So why are we, in that sense, treated unfair, which according to us is fair, right? Why? The story and I just want because you're not going to see the vast part of the other recording I did on this. I told the story of the parable. That this story reminds of the parable of Jesus, where the workers, he got in the morning, the workers, and promised him a certain amount of money. In the afternoon he went, later on again, 3 hours later, and 3 hours later, 3 hours later, kind of every time got more. In the end, in the evening, he paid them all the same, and he started with giving those who came last the payment first. And others came and said, it's not fair. And that's the point. Grace is not fair. Right? If you want fairness from God, you'll go to hell. If God has to be fair towards all human beings, then all human beings will go to hell with the exception of one, which is Jesus. The rest all. So if you want fairness from God, so in other words, I wouldn't plead fairness from God. In a certain sense, I would plead unfairness from God. I would thank God for the fact that from our perspective, right, he was unfair. He was unfair towards Christ. He didn't deserve death, but because of our sin, because of grace, because of mercy, he took it upon himself for the glory of God, right? So that is what is truly unfair. The reason why we have the picture the wrong way around is because we think we deserve grace. We think we work our way to heaven. The vast majority of Christians believe that they actually deserve heaven. That they did something, right? And therefore they deserve. They went to a church, so therefore they deserve heaven. They sang a song, therefore they fasted for a week, and therefore they deserve heaven. They deserve this miracle because they did something. No, you don't deserve anything. If God gives it to you, it's not because you deserve it, but because of grace. It's actually unfair in the sense of it, but it's His law of mercy, of grace, that trumpets fairness and unfairness in this case. So God is not unfair, right? God chooses mercy. So you need to therefore start looking at fairness and unfairness, not from your human point of view, bottom up, but from God's point of view, top down. The drone flying overhead sees the full picture. You standing there can't see anything, right? If you are driving on a road in a mountain, being stuck behind the truck and you can't get past the truck, if you could have a bird's eye view and see there's no cars coming from the front, then you could have easily overtaken the truck. But since you don't have that kind of view, you have your point of view, so you can't, because you don't know if there is a truck coming or not. In the wintertime, on the roads in Siberia at night, you're stuck behind a truck on the snowy roads, you are blinded. They go at 40 kilometers, if you're lucky an hour, you still have 300 kilometers to travel, you want to get past, there's nothing, you can't see a thing, so you sort of overtake the truck with a prayer that you will survive this, right? So if you had a different point of view, if you could get a drone's view overhead of what's ahead of that truck, right? Because in the head of that truck is no snow. It's not like you're in a snowstorm. Behind the truck you are because of the truck. And then you would be able to see, yes, I can overtake. Like in the mountain road, right? You can overtake. Otherwise you're just stuck. Okay, we're stuck in this idea of it's unfair and fair, but we're wrong. We are wrong, not God. So stop looking, stop complaining about fairness and unfairness, and thank God for the fact that actually He gives us grace and mercy when we deserve judgment and death. Then you're looking at what the neighbor, the Smiths next door are doing, and look at their car and their house. You will stop looking like that, and you will start looking with eyes of love and mercy and grace to them. And your lives will change, and their lives will change. Your neighborhoods will change. Your country will change. This world will change. When you start looking with God's perspective, when you start seeing His grace, mercy, love, triumphing over what you deserve, which is death, destruction, hell.